Good morning, chickies. Good morning. Pretty. Come on, guys. Good morning. Good morning. All right. I'll see you in a little while. Well, good morning. It is a little bit after 6 o'clock. I am headed over for the last day of our dressage camp at the barn, which is the last day of our summer riding program. We have a play day tomorrow. I've got my Diet Coke and my bagel and cream cheese, which I've already bit into. And I'm headed over today. We'll do our little awards at the end. And one of the kids has a birthday today. And so we're having cupcakes and stuff when that's over. And I don't know what else we'll do. What else I'm going to do the rest of the day. We'll see. It'll be kind of a surprise because I'm still feeling kind of run down and tired. And I don't really know why I slept well last night. I think it's just, I don't know. Anyway. Anyway, so we're going to head over to the barn and get the kids warmed up and get ready for dressage class. This guy. Your mom had to go to the potty, so I'm holding you. That's the very first baby I raised. That's Angel's first baby. And then this is his younger full sister, Sky. And then this is Flame. This is one of my horses. Eleanor runs her. And then this is Gusty. She's one of my horses also. And Haley's getting ready to mount Tuffy, who is the little mare that I raised also. Out in the barn, we've got Magic. She's a little punk, but I did raise her. So.
There you go. There you go. Medium ball.
Shani, you shorten your reins even more.
Good, Zoe. That's a good ball.
You shorten your reins even more. Those are pretty long, so.
Elbows mid, Susan. There.
You're the quietest little meow. Yeah. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Okay, so I made it home from the barn. We had a good morning. We finished up. One of the kids' birthdays was today, so we had a little birthday party afterwards. And then Mary Ann and I stayed after she was watering the arena before our play day tomorrow, so it's not quite so dusty. Because right now I'm covered in dust. She stayed behind and we visited for a minute. What are y'all doing? Every time I make a video, y'all want to play. But stayed behind talking about kind of some strategies for the fall for the kids and the horses so we can keep everybody moving forward. I was going to share with y'all, though, yesterday, the person I had lunch with brought me some quilting books. And they're from the 1970s. You can really tell by looking at the fabric, but I was going to share them with you real quick. Okay, so here's one of these were her grandmother's, she said. So, very 70s. Better Homes and Gardens quilting books. And, I mean, there's some cool stuff in here. You know, the fabric obviously is a little bit dated, but quilt patterns are classic. Now, there's a log cabin, you know, kind of like the one I'm putting together. And then there's a really beautiful Star of Bethlehem. It's not a Lone Star because it's not solid. Plus, I think a Lone Star has a different number of points. But anyway, so, yeah. And there's a Lone Star. That's a Lone Star right there. So, anyway, there's Storm at Sea. I've made one of those before, a small one. Windmill Star. And then, yeah, that's just screams 70s, doesn't it? But anyway, so, but there's some, I mean, you know, quilting is, the directions and the patterns are classic. The fabrics, you know, change depending on taste. But anyway, so there was that one. And then, this is, I hadn't really looked at these other two. You know, here's another one, New Ideas for Lap Quilting. Now, Georgia Bonesteel, I remember hearing about her. There used to be a quilting program. Oh, there's some Bargello. There's a Bargello pattern. There used to be a program on HGTV called Simply Quilts. Oh, there's a cotton bowl pattern. Well, that's really cool. You know, Miss Betsy would love that. She loves cotton stuff. So, that gets me to thinking about presents. So, but anyway, you know, there's a very classic one with the house and some more contemporary. Oh, that's a cat. Look, there's a cat. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. But anyway, so it looks like Bargello there, and then twisting spools. But anyway, so, yeah, but, you know, quilting, the patterns, there's classic patterns and classic shapes that never go out of style, so, and then this was another little circuit. Oh, remember everybody, the Sunset books? I've got several of those about like house plants and stuff. So, this one looks like it's got a lot of technique type stuff in it. Little doll. And that skirt. So, oh, I love that. That vest is kind of funny with the sun on it. Oh my goodness. Okay. But anyway, so that got me to thinking, last year when I went to a garage sale that I think it was the Beta Club was having down at Adkins to help send the kids on a trip, I found all of these embroidering circulars. Now Willie's going to play with the bottle. I found these embroidery circulars and I had stuck them up, so I'm thinking I want to look through, or not embroidery, good God, crochet circulars. So I'm going to look through those a little bit because I'm thinking it's time to make a doily. Looks like somebody made that one. They've written all their notes and stuff on it. You know, pineapple pattern. Oh, 5 down, $400. Oh my goodness. Y'all know what that is? We used to have a show. Well, I guess they still have the noon news, or I guess they do. But on Channel 4, it would be Dialing for Dollars. Dialing for dollars, and you had to know the count and the amount. So 5 down, or they would run, it would be 5 down, 5 up, whatever. And then the amount. So you had to know the count and the amount, and you'd write it down. And if they called you and you didn't know it, you didn't win the money. So somebody was watching Dialing for Dollars. So there's the peacock feather one. That one's really pretty. And pineapples again. This one's got a lot of pineapple. Ooh, that one's kind of neat looking. Pineapple fans. That one's kind of cool. And then this one was also in the stuff. This is another little circular. It's all doilies again. That's kind of pretty. There's a tablecloth. Oh, those are pretty. Dresser scarf type stuff. Oh yes, now that's very 60s and 50s, isn't it? I don't know when this was printed, but oh look, Essence of Spring. That's really pretty. I like the flowers on that. Diagram to work from. Oh, you're supposed to mark the picture. Oh gosh. That would be hard to keep up with for me. But anyway, so yeah. So yeah, I found these. And then this one is actually one my mom had. She actually made this Afghan. I bought her this pattern booklet and the yarn to make herself this Afghan. So, I thought that was pretty. There's a granny square one and a ripple and knitted. I guess this one is knitted and these two are crocheted. So, but anyway, so I thought I'd spend a few minutes looking through these. Sometimes, you know, I like to look on Ravelry and stuff, but it's hard to beat just sitting down with a nice book or booklet and looking at stuff. So anyway, okay, well, I'm going to spend a little bit of time doing that, I think, and probably spend the rest of the afternoon after I feed and water just kind of doing some crafty stuff. I hurt my foot. I guess running my tractor, the clutch sometimes makes got a ligament or something on the bottom of my foot that gets sore, and today it's pretty painful. So I'm probably going to give it a break today and then get back to mowing weeds tomorrow afternoon. All right, I'll catch up with you guys later on. Okay, well, the trainer said Bo was getting low on feed, so I decided to come to the feed store to get a couple bags of feed. And, of course, stopped at Sonic at happy hour first and got an orange slush. And Lucky came with me. Lucky's very excited to get to ride, so he came with me. So, yeah, so we're going to go in and get some feed. Come on, let's go this way. Come on, I know, it's very exciting. Come on, let's go this way, Come on. Pick out Eleanor a birthday present. Yes, that's nails. You don't need them. You want to pick out a treat? Huh? You want to pick out a treat? What about over here? You want one of these? You want to go check these out? Come on. What about these ones? Come here. Let's get you. You want one of those instead? Hmm? You don't know which one you want, huh? Well, here, let's get one of these. We'll get one of these. All right. Okay, well, we got our feed loaded up. The guys got me loaded, and I got Eleanor a little tack kit together here for her birthday for Bo when Bo comes home from the trainer. And I got Lucky a treat. You want that? Huh? He's not a big fan of treats, but maybe he'll chew on it in a minute. Sit that down there. You know what? You want it? That's yours. He's not a big fan of treats, but he might chew on it on the way home. Alrighty, we're gonna head back to the house. Well, I'm done with feeding and watering for the day, and I'm just sitting outside in the shade of my big oak trees here by my house. There's actually 3 oak trees there. There's 2 red oaks and a white oak that have kind of grown together. Sitting out here, I was just kind of thinking about things, looking at my flower beds and looking at, you know, I think I said in one of my episodes about how it can get a little bit overwhelming trying to do things, especially on your own. You know, I would love to have beautiful flower beds and keep my yard pristine and stuff, and there, you know, you have to make choices. Now, ultimately, my goal, and I have talked about this, I think, a couple of times, I want to have a nonprofit, an educational nonprofit, or at least an educational farm here, teaching like heritage skills, you know, food preservation, heirloom seeds, how to graft fruit trees, how to propagate from seed, how to drive horses and harness and use horses for you know, agricultural work, fiber animals, and how to shear and spin and do fiber. I mean, all of these things. Obviously, I can't teach all of those things, but I know people who can. So the goal eventually is to create some kind of an educational nonprofit, or at least an educational farm experience here. You know, there's an old house across the road. It was actually the house that my grandparents lived in before they built this house behind me that I live in. It's fallen down. I mean, quite literally falling down. I need to clean that up, and that's where I want to build a small classroom building with some bunkhouse type space in it, so that people can come and stay here if they want to, like the woofers, the people that travel and work on organic farms or whatever. Have like a bunkhouse space and a teaching kitchen space, some classroom space, you know, for that kind of thing. And then I want to put in a bigger garden, because my little garden that's over here is landlocked. I mean, I can't make it any bigger. And really what I want to do is plant more fruit trees, get some more of the dwarf fruit trees like I've got, and plant fruit trees there. You know, I would love to have more Arkansas native plants. You know, that's one thing I really would love to have. You know, I've got this flower bed behind me that you can see up by the house. It's all grown up. I've got some plants in there, but I would like to do more. And sometimes I get a little overwhelmed thinking about it. I'm like, how in the world are you going to manage all this? But I try to keep in perspective, you know, the farm will be paid off in 6 years. You know, and that'll be a huge relief, you know, as far as money goes. You know, I've got another payment that will be done in 2 years, you know, and between those two, I can start. I mean, I need to buy a new car, obviously, but between those 2 payments going away, I can start putting back significant sums of money to move forward. The other thing is, and most of y'all don't know the story of the bathroom remodeling debacle, but let's just say I asked for recommendations for a local handyman to fix my bathroom a few years ago because the floor was starting to get bad. And I called this guy's references, you know. Now, part of this is my own ignorance, you know. I still live in the school of thought of, you know, you're a local person, everybody says you're great, we shake hands, we do the deal. And I asked him how much it would cost, and he gave me a price. And I said, is that for everything? And he said, yes, that's for everything. And when you say everything to me, that means all I need to do is walk in there with my bar of soap and my scrubby poof and my towel. And that's the only things I need to bring in there. Everything else is covered. The fixtures, the light fixtures, the ceiling treatments, the wall treatments, everything is covered. And for the price that he quoted me, it should have been that. Well, so the guy comes, you know, gets under the house and says, well, there needs to be a little bit of shored up, but it's not nearly as bad as I thought. I'm going to be able to save you some money. I'm thinking, great. He said, go ahead and order your sink and your fixture. So I bought good stuff. You know, I didn't buy cheap stuff. My grandmother could squeeze the life out of a nickel, and she bought used outlets for this house. I mean, how cheap is that? But anyway, you know, and that's because of the time that she lived in. But my philosophy is I'm going to buy good quality, and it's going to last a really long time. So I bought all my stuff, and we get the floor fixed, get everything torn out, get started back on the shower, he said, oh, we'll do a tile shower, and it'll be this way and that way. And then the tile on the floor, we go buy tile from this store that he recommends. And the tiles that I buy, he said, oh, get these too. And I said, well, they're not the same size. And he said, well, that won't matter. I can cut them. Well, then he decided he didn't want to cut them. So now I've got 2 different size tiles in my bathroom floor. And then there was one corner where he was too lazy to cut tile to fit. So he took a 3rd tile that's another color and stuck it in the corner. And one set of the tiles is fine, but the other set, when they're wet, they're very slick. Okay. I don't have a sink in there. He tore a hole in my wall. No sink. Just a piece of plywood that I've got my stuff sitting on. The grout in the floor, this was, well, it'll be 4 years ago now that I had this done. The grout tile started coming up last year. He didn't fix the tub or the shower where it would drain correctly. So I spent all this money and I don't have a working bathroom. And I've been mad about that ever since. And I've had people say, oh, we'll help you. Mostly men that I've dated have said, oh, we'll help you, we'll help you. Well, somehow magically that never happens. I did get one to put my light fixtures in, so I guess that was something, but that was it. And I have been angry about this for quite a few years. And I finally came to the realization, quit worrying about it. Because what you really want to do is save your money and have someone professional come in. And I have 2 bathrooms in this house and they're back to back. Turn 2 bathrooms into one, because I don't need a guest bathroom. I don't have guests. You know, I don't need a guest bathroom. Turn 2 bathrooms into one big bathroom and fix it the way you want it and have a nice tub with a whirlpool. Oh, my barn kitty is playing with the flowers. But anyway, so it's given me a little bit of peace to just kind of get over that. I mean, yeah, it was an expensive lesson that I had to learn, but I learned it, and I won't be made a fool of again like that. But anyway, I got something in the mail. I got several things in the mail. I got the water bill, which is a little more expensive than it usually is because I've been watering a lot. I got a really sweet thank you card with a sweet surprise in it from one of the winners of the charity make-along prizes. And I got a sweet note from a couple of the other winners too online, so that was really sweet. She wrote a sweet note in here, so Patsy, if you watch this, thank you. Your card did make it. And I got a really sweet message from Antonia and from Shirley, from Shirley Knits. And my friend Carol, of course, was really excited to get her stuff too. So everybody's been really sweet. I've gotten thank yous from everybody that I've sent stuff to. So hopefully all the packages are starting to make it to where they need to go. I got in the mail today, my friends Marla and Gypsy that had given me the blue yarn sent me a package of yarn. Now this is some yarn that's like the blue yarn that they got me. It looks like probably local hand spun. It looks like about maybe a DK or maybe a worsted weight yarn. And then they sent me 2 balls of Let Lopi. They had found these. Now here's the cool thing. I bought the hat from the Queen of Pearls. It's got the moon phases on it. I don't remember what weight it is. It may be DK weight, but at any rate, I think those would be perfect for that if they're the right weight. So that's exciting. Now the other thing they sent me, and this is really funny, years ago, it seems like another lifetime ago, when I lived in Oklahoma, one of my really good friends was a musician. And she did several different things, but one of the things she did was she played harp. And she liked to play Scottish folk music and English folk music. And so she recorded a CD, and they found the copy of it. And actually I took all of the let me see if I get this out of here, all of the landscape photography on this one time when we went to Scotland. So let me see if I can find, it's kind of hard to see. Most of them are like blurred out in the background of the lyrics and stuff, but I took all of those. That picture on the front that she's over, that's from Pitlochry Castle outside of Fraserburgh, which is where Keith my ex, and well, and her ex too. That's a long story that we won't get into. But anyway, it's not tawdry. It's they broke up, and then after they broke up, he and I dated for a little while. But anyway, yeah, they sent me that. I actually play penny whistle on this. I'm actually a recorded musician. Isn't that amazing? Anyway, so they sent me that. They had found that. That was years and years ago. I don't even remember when we did this. It was before 1999, I know that. So it's been almost 20 years ago. But anyway, so found that. They sent me that. But anyway, so I'm just sitting out here. I'm going to sit out here. I've got my Kelvin Monster pouch that in this bag that I'm going to probably work on for a little bit and just sit out here and kind of enjoy the evening. So that's probably where I'm going to sign off for today. I hope that you guys are doing good today. I hope you've enjoyed seeing a little snippet of my day-to-day life. And until I visit with y'all again, y'all be good to each other and take care of each other. Peace out, y'all. Bye.